mostly it's me. I tend to do all the talking. We haven't met yet. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Uncle Aito. I'm one of the caretakers here at Aulani, which means most of the time I go around, I change the light bulbs, I trim the hedges and mow the lawn, stuff like that. But one of the perks of my job, when Auntie deems fit to let me out, I get to come out here, tell some stories, share a little bit of the culture of Hawaii, and sing ever so slightly off key. Let's see how off key I am this evening. Let me start off with a song. Aloha, e como mai, e Aulani, home na nea, ikuai kola, e Aulani, home. I'll take it from you. Sounds like you need some from her. I'll do my best. Aloha, e como mai, e Aulani, home. Ikuai kola, e Aulani, home. I think I got it all right. Yeah. Holoa aku, e Hawaii mai, e Aulani, home. Haina, kapuana, no Aulani, home. E Hawaii mai, e Aulani home haina, kapuana no Aulani home, no Aulani home. Well, that's a song called the Aulani Hula. It's a special song to us here at Aulani. It talks a little bit about what we do around here. The words go aloha, e komo mai, hello and welcome. Come on in to Aulani home, to Aulani our home. And then the song we say, Nane ika Waikolohe. Go enjoy the relaxing waters of Waikolohe Valley. Go swim in the pools, go hang on the hot tubs, go down the slides. And then the song we say, Holo, go out on an adventure, go and explore the rest of our beautiful island of Oahu. But e ho'i mai, return to us here at Aulani, our home. And then the song ends as so many of our Hawaiian songs do, if you listen closely, with the words ha ina ia mai ala kapuana la. Now the story's told. In this case, the story of our home right here at Aulani. Now, speaking of our home here at Aulani, the story I'm going to share with you folks this evening is one of my favorite stories to tell out here. I haven't told it for a few days. But the story actually doesn't take place here at Aulani. It takes place down in that direction at a place called Pu'uloa. Now, Pu'uloa was a very important place back in the days of old. There are lots of local i'a or fish ponds there, lots of beautiful white sandy beaches, lots of great fishing spots, surfing spots. And Pu'uloa served as a gathering place for all the people of the Ewa district of Oahu. Now, Ewa should sound familiar to some of you. I'm going to ask you folks a question. I need to hear a response, okay? Anybody staying on this side of the Ewa Tower? Let me hear it. Woo! All right. Anybody staying on the opposite side of the Wide-Eye Tower? Let me hear that. Woo! Anybody not actually staying here? It needs to be escorted off. I know that wasn't everybody. Let's try this one again. Anybody staying over here in the Ewa Tower? Let me hear it. Woo! Anybody staying in the Wide-Eye Tower? Let me hear that. Woo! If you don't know where you're staying, I have some friends at the front desk, so I'll hook you guys up. Well, these two towers get their name from two of the 6 moku, or traditional land districts of the island of Oahu. Here in Aulani, we sit between two of them. To the west of us lies, fittingly, the moku of Hawaiian, extending from us here all the way down to Ka'ena, the far western tip of Oahu. If you go around the corner there, you get to the district of Waialua, or we think of as the north shore of Oahu. If you're up in Kahuku, you're already in the district of Ko'olauloa. Down in Kailua, you're in the district of Ko'olaupoko. If you go around the far east end of Oahu at Hanauma, you have now come to the district of Kona. And in between Kona and Waianae lies the district of Ewa. So here at Aulani, we sit on the far western end of that Ewa district. And that place I was talking about, Pu'uloa, sat on the far eastern end. And Pu'uloa served as a gathering place for all the people of Ewa. They would come there to enjoy the sand, the surf, the sun, the sea, all the stuff you could do at the beach. In fact, visitors came not just from Ewa, but from all over Oahu. Not just from Oahu, but even from far beyond Oahu shores. There were so many visitors there at Pu'uloa that there was a very special protector of the place. And her name was Ka'ahupahau. And it was her job to keep the peace. Now there's also a song about that place. It's a song called Pupu A'o Ewa. Pupu in Hawaiian means seashells. And Ewa, of course, refers to that district. But here the song is not just about seashells. Indeed, the seashells are a metaphor for the industrious people of Ewa. And the song talks about how they would gather there and shine like seashells in the sun. All right, let me try this song. Listen closely for the name of our protector, Ka'ahupahau. And for the name of that place, Pu'uloa. Here we go. Pupu A'o Ewa. Pupu A'o Ewa ikanu ana kanaka e naui mai. A e ike kameho o ka'ana e aina wa kaulana. Maina kupuna mai. Ala hula pu'uloa he ala he no ka'ahupahau. Pupu A'o Ewa ikanu ana kanaka e naui mai. A e ike kameho o ka'aina e aina wa kaulana. Maina kupuna mai. Ala hula pu'uloa he ala he no ka'ahupahau. Now, if you listen very closely, very sharply indeed to that song, you will hear the phrase "Ala hula pu'uloa he ala hele no ka'ahupahau." And what that phrase means, basically, is that Pu'uloa was Ka'ahupahau's home, and she knew every nook and cranny, every corner of the place, every grain of sand, if you will. Now, Ka'ahupahau, our protector, she wasn't just any old person. To be quite frank with you, she wasn't a person at all. She was a very special mano. This might be a new word for some of you. So, eho pili mai, repeat after me. Mano.
Mano.
We got to do it twice to make sure it sticks in there. Mano.
Mano.
And that, my friends, is how you say shark in Hawaii. She wasn't just any old mano either. She was the queen shark of all of Oahu. Our protector, our defender there at Pu'uloa. Now, in order to keep the peace amongst all the visitors that would come there, the visitors from the skies, the visitors from the seas, the visitors from the land like us, she had some rules that she made sure everybody would follow. Kind of like the rules you folks might have at your house. You might. What is your least favorite rule at home? Is there anything you have to do that you don't like to do at all? Chores. What's your least favorite chore to do? I know, it's a tough one. It's always a pop quiz going by yourself. What's that? Cleaning up your room. Cleaning your room? That's your least favorite thing? There's an easy way to get around that. What you do is you have a long sit down, maybe a coffee or a hot cocoa, if you like, conversation with the person that makes a mess in your room, and you try to convince them to stop doing that. And that'll be much easier for you. Thank you, my dear. Anybody else have any least favorite rules at home? Raise your hand so I can call on you. Yes, my dear.
My room.
Cleaning your room. Did you hear it? If I say it, her? You think it applies for you too? You didn't hear it? Talk to the person that makes the mess in your room and get them to stop. Thank you, my dear. Very good, very good. Anybody else? Where's the yes in the corner there? Doing laundry. Is it very difficult? He said doing laundry. You have to go down to the creek with the board and the soapstone, and you got to get really in there. You have no idea what I'm talking about. That is a joke with a very limited shelf life. Well, thank you for your hard work, my friend. Yes, right here in the front, sir.
My favorite chore is picking up dogs.
Picking up after a dog. Is this a dog you're familiar with? Is it a dog you know, or is it somebody else's dog? It's your dog. Well, there's an easy way to get around having to clean up after your dog. How much do you like your dog? You like it a lot, then that's just paying the rent, my friend. You're just going to have to do it. Other than that, you just live in a room covered with stuff that you didn't pick up. Thank you, sir. All right, anybody else? In the back there, yes. With the unicorn horn, yes. Cleaning the kitchen. Is it a very large kitchen?
Yes.
It's a very large kitchen. Get a smaller kitchen. I'm full of wisdom. Very good. Anybody else? In the corner there, yes. Gotta be loud. You're far, far away.
Making my bed.
Making your bed. It's nice to stay at a hotel sometimes, isn't it? Actually, what you do is you make it nice and tight. You just get a blanket from somewhere else. You sleep on top. Nobody will know the difference. Very good. As we see, I gotta get a tall person to do this one. You, my dear, right here. What is your least favorite rule at home?
Me?
Yes, you. The person that I'm looking at with the eye contact and the pointing and everything. I came all the way over here looking at you and you said, you? Me? Very good, yes. What is your least favorite rule at home?
Cleaning the floors.
Cleaning the floors. What are the floors made out of? Wood? Yeah, wood's not bad, right? Wood's okay. You can get a Roomba. Roomba. That actually got a laugh. Thank you, my dear. Now, as we see, there are all sorts of rules that we have in the communities that we live in. Whether that is a community of 2 people, a community of 2,000, a community of 1.4 million or so, there are all sorts of rules that help us get along better. Here in Hawaii, it's very common that you have to take your shoes off before you come inside. Nobody wants to track dirt onto the floor. That makes it easier, yeah. Don't drink the milk straight out of the jug. I always say that. That's not Hawaii specific. Always put the toilet seat down. It's quiet out there. I'm clearly oversharing. But I gotta tell you, it's gotten me far. As I said, there are all sorts of rules. And there at Pu'uloa, it was no different. There at Pu'uloa, our host, Ka'ahupahau, she had 1, 2, 3 rules of her own. And these are kind of important, so I need your help. I need you to hold pilimai. I need you to repeat these after me, okay?
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. Rule number 1, take care of each other.
Take care of each other.
Good start. Rule number 2, always tell the truth.
Rule number 2, always tell the truth.
And rule number 3, this one was more for the sharks than for the humans. No eating people.
Rule number 3,
That
no
is
eating
generally
people.
the easiest rule to remember. But the other 2 are pretty important too. So pop quiz, what's rule number 1?
Take
Take care of each other.
There's a lot of you out there. It's not as loud as I was thinking it was going to be. Take care of each other. We got it though. What's rule number 2? Paraphrasing totally counts, so I think we're losing more of you as we go on. And finally, what's rule number 3?
Don't eat the people.
Generally the easiest one to remember. It's kind of quiet right here, my dear. I may not want to go swimming with you folks. So following these 3 rules, everybody at Pu'uloa got along. Or at least they did, until one day, when a malevolent Mondo came to visit. A mischievous shark named Mikololo. And Mikololo came all the way from the big island of Hawaii, and he didn't come to follow any rules, oh no. He came to cause some trouble. He came to fill his belly with people!
Uh-oh.
Now, if you go and visit Auntie at breakfast, you might hear. It's an old Hawaiian custom that we bring a gift when we go and visit someone. It's one of the ways that we take care of our hosts as they take care of us. Sounds like one of our rules, doesn't it? What's rule number 1?
Take care of each other.
Well, that's the first rule that Mikololo broke, as he brought no such gift for his host, Ka'ahupahau. He just lurked outside the harbor, sniffing, smelling all those tasty-looking people inside. Ka'ahupahau, she noticed him out there, and she said, "Hui! What are you doing out there?" "Oh, nothing," replied Mikololo. "I'm just admiring all these tasty-looking crabs. Yeah, crabs." Well, Ka'ahupahau, she was no dummy. She could tell from that sly look on Mikololo's face that he wasn't talking about crabs, was he? Indeed, he was lying. And what's rule number 2?
Always tell the truth.
Well, that's the second rule that Mikololo broke. As if flying itself weren't bad enough, he was lying about eating what?
People.
And what's rule number 3?
Don't eat the people.
Oh, I think we can do better than that. What's rule number 3?
Don't eat the people.
1, 2, 3 strikes. It was time to kick Mikololo out. So Ka'ahupahau. Yeah, I'm surprised I made that too. So Ka'ahupahau, she rallied all the people of Epa together, gathered everyone there on the beach, and she had the fishermen in the area go out and lay a series of long nets stretching all the way across the harbor there at Pu'uloa. Now Mikololo, that mischievous model, he traveled all the way from the big island of Hawaii, all the way here to Oahu, all the way to the harbor there at Pu'uloa to get himself some dinner. You think he was going to be stopped by some flimsy little nets? Not without a fight. He was a very hungry and a very determined mono, and he charged and he tore through the first net, and then he tore through another and another and another and another and another still until finally only one single solitary net remained. The net with the smallest eye. And that was the one that caught Mikololo. The people of Pu'uloa, they rallied together. They grabbed onto that net and they pulled. They dragged that shark up onto the shore where they where they left him to dry out in the hot Hawaiian sun. Oh, the sun was so hot that day that that giant mano shriveled up in its heat, getting smaller and smaller and smaller still, until finally all that remained of Miklolo was his tongue, sizzling there on the shore. The people of Pu'uloa then back to their normal lives, back to their fishing, their surfing, their sandcastle making. And then a little Ilio, a little dog came cruising along, just a little beach dog. The dog noticed something there in the shore. He circled it because that's generally what dogs do when they check stuff out. Yeah. He pawed at it. He sniffed at it. He tasted it. Now, what do you folks think a hungry little beach dog would do with a nice, tasty, meaty, savory morsel of shark tongue jerky like that?
Eat it.
Exactly what he did. He ate it up. And that would seem to be the end of Miklolo, no? Except not quite. You see, the sun that was so hot that day that it dried up that giant shark, it was hot enough to make that little Ilio, that little dog, want to go for a swim. So the dog ran down the beach, ran down to the edge of the water, and then he jumped into the ocean. But when he did, something began to change. The dog's body began to grow. Its legs began to shrink. Its face changed shape, elongating. Its skin turned gray. And out of its back sprouted, bing, a fin. You see, even though that giant mano had shriveled up in the heat of the sun, all of his mana, his spiritual power, the very essence of his being, well, his mana didn't dry up with it. Instead, it concentrated to what remained of the shark, namely his tongue. So when that little dog ate up the shark's tongue and then jumped into the ocean back into the shark's home, the mana of the shark overtook the dog, and that little Ilio became that giant mano. Miklolo was saved by his tongue, so to speak. Now, even though that mischievous, malevolent, monstrous, murderous, mammoth, man-eating mano called Miklolo had escaped with his life, he was smart enough to know that it was time to leave town. And he left the harbor, and he swam all the way back to his home at the big island of Hawaii, never to bother the shining in the sun, covering the shore. When I see that, my heart tells me that I love you more than all those little curly shells. Ala hula kula, he ala hele no ka ahupa. Thank you so much for letting me join you here in the Circle of Light, Ula. There'll be more mo'olelo, there'll be more storytelling tomorrow. But right now, I gotta go and change more light bulbs. And nothing helps an uncle change light bulbs more than having his own traveling, if somewhat fiery assistant. So until we meet again, ahui ho akuno. Have a wonderful evening. Maha. Mahalo.